Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and we're back with an 8-4 Oath of the Gatewatch Battle for Zendikar draft. Rare is not a good one. Not going to take Call the Gatewatch. I'm on board for Reality Hemorrhage. Seems like the best card in the pack. I like Flaying Tendrils too, but I'd rather have some spot removal that can hit face, I think, to start her off. Reality Hemorrhage basically goes in any red deck, and Flaying Tendrils only goes in... doesn't go in every black deck. Certainly not an aggressive one. But it does have high upside. I've been pretty impressed with Flaying Tendrils in this format. There's nothing else very good in here, to be perfectly honest. So let's just take Reality Hemorrhage. Okay. I like Sifter of Skulls. I like Zada's Commando. They're both good. Sifter, I think, shines a lot in the green-black deck because you get to run stuff like Bone Splinters and Vampiric Rites a lot more profitably. Considering its second pick, I'm pretty tempted to just take it. I think it's the best card in this pack. It's a good card. Turning your other creatures into Scions, I think, is legitimately good. And a 4-mana 4/3 in black is also good. Fairly unexciting pack otherwise. There is Zada's Commando, which is good, and Makindi Aeronaut. But I think we're going to take the Sifter and be okay with that. Ooh, alright. Jorian. Something I can do. There's a Work Lyric, of course. Jorian is very good. I think it's got the most upside in this pack, especially since it's so early. Not the biggest fan of a dedicated blue-red Surge deck, but Jorian is good, and it's certainly, I think, better than any other card in here, so I think we're going to take it. I mean, the fact that no one else took it certainly means no one else is in blue-red. I can take the Free Runner here. I can take the Slip Through Space. That's got the best Jorian synergy, but this tends to wheel. I think Free Runner, for the most part, is going to be better than Slip Through Space. And Mauve Kozilek, I almost think I like more than Free Runner. I've really come around on this card, and I like it a lot. Just as a nice little body. It's a nice body to put down. It attacks well. But I'm okay taking Free Runner. I'm perfectly okay with that. So, well, I mean, I still could take Mauve Kozilek. I'm not necessarily playing Jorian. I definitely like Maw more than Free Runner. But Free Runner is good if you can beat down. And it's good when you're playing 2 spells a turn. Alright, I guess it makes the most sense with Jorian. Okay, I like Brute Strength. I like Slip Through Space. I like Sweep Away. I like Sweep Away less with Jorian. But it is the best card. Probably. Best card in the pack might be the Shrieker, actually. Baloth Pup's not bad. I don't know. I like Brute Strength. I think it's good. Like I said, Sweep Away is not the best with Jorian, but it's still fine. You could still end up casting 2 spells a turn. It kills manlands, which is nice. And it takes away their draw step at the same time. So it's really brutal against Awaken spells. It's also good against fighting. It's a good defensive card. It probably is the best card remaining in here. I don't think it has the best synergy with Jorian, but I can miss out on a Brute Strength or a Slip Through Space, especially since Slip Through Space, like I said, I really do think wheels pretty often. I don't know. Unity of Purpose has been pretty impressive, actually. I think it's a good card. Brute Strength is cheaper. I think Unity of Purpose is actually a card I want to consider here, though. Negator's only okay. I think I like the Unity. This potential upside on Unity is pretty high. There's also a Slaughter Drone in here, which I like, but I'm going to take the Unity of Purpose. Alright, Thought Harvester is good. Just 2/4 body. Nothing else in here we're passing, really, so I'm okay with that. First Ancient Crab or first Negator. You know, Ancient Crab's actually not that bad in a Jorian deck. It's not. It's really only going to be good if we have a good late game plan. And Negator does evade, but it's so easy to get plenty of 4-drops. And I don't really care about wastes at this point. I think I'm going to take the first crab and just sort of get that out of the way. Actually, I could just take the Expedite. It's got the best Jorian synergy. It enables Surge. All right, let's take the Expedite. So, Assault. I really don't like Assault that much. I could just take the Maw, which is fine. It's also a Warden of Geometries. I like Maw more, though. I'm usually just not happy when I'm playing Pyromancer's Assault. I'm going to take the Maw. I just, like I said, I really don't like Assault that much. It's so often I just pay 4 mana for something and then I don't get to abuse it. I'm going to take the second Expedite here. I don't think Cultivator Drone's all that good, although it does have good synergy with Maw of Kozilek. But let's take the Expedite here. I'm going to take the Membrane now. That's just a nice pickup for us. I don't care about waste. I mean, you can go deep on Expedites, but I guess theoretically I could play Bonesaw. Cinder Hellion versus Brute Strength. Little creature light at the moment. But I think I'm still going to take Brute Strength. I'm going to hope to find cheaper creatures at some point. We're going to let somebody have. So we didn't wheel either of the slip through spaces, but we did get the Expedites. So I've got my Surge enablers at this point. Now I just sort of need to lower the curve of the deck a little bit. We even have some decent removal. Well, we opened Thought-Knot Seer, which is 5 tickets, and it's just a really powerful card. So despite me not necessarily wanting another 4-drop, I think we're just going to take it. I mean, there's also Embodiment in here, which is probably a close second anyway. So either way, I'm taking a 4-drop. Admitted, I don't have any colorless mana for this Thought-Knot Seer yet, but I'm hoping I can find some. So Avenger versus Cyclone Sire. So Avenger is going to be more likely... Well, it's more likely to wheel... but it's more likely to trigger my Jorian, but I think Sire is definitely a better card. And if we can wheel Slip Through Space or Waste, I'm pretty happy. I think we're going to take the Sire here. Okay, can take Avenger now. Guess it makes sense. Can put it in the 4 slot as well, since we probably can play it for 4. Still need some cheaper stuff. Having a hard time finding cheap creatures, oddly enough. Okay, so I can take Bushwhacker, can take the Holdout Settlement, can take the Slip Through Space, but I think we actually want some cheap creatures here. And this being able to surge is pretty valuable, so I guess we'll do the Bushwhacker. Okay, Crawler looks like exactly what this deck wants. Since we have so many 4-drops, we need to be able to pay for Thought-Knots here if we want to play it. Pumps Maw of Kozilek. It lets us play 2 spells in a turn. Kind of an ideal card for us. Okay, I'm a little more on board with Cultivator Drone now. Seeing as it, well, I guess how many cards does it actually pay for? It just pays for 1, 2, 3, 4 cards at the moment. Maybe I want the Vestige instead. I do need some more creatures, though. We might end up with a deck that's got more top end than I'd hope, too. In which case, Cultivator Drone could be good for, like, ramping to colorless. Definitely don't want the Negator. I guess I'll take the Vestige. I'm not in love with Cultivator Drone in this deck. Wow, it's a late Soothsayer. There's also a flare drone in here. I might want the holdout settlement, or I could take the Cinder Hellion. Both of which are fine, not exciting. Holdout settlement, I guess, pays for our Thought Knots here in Maw, and maybe opens us up for a splash. I think we're going to end up with enough playables, so it should be okay. Guess I can take the second sweep away, or I can take the Ancient Crab. If I had a better late game plan, I'd be more on board with Crab. But sweep away in multiples is also really not that good. I guess I take the Crab. I still need some more creatures. I'll take the... So we did wheel the Avenger. I'll take it. I mean, we've got the Expedites and the Bonesaw, which we might be playing at this point. Just because we're sort of light on stuff to do. I could take Warden. I've just got so many 4-drops. Could take second Brute Strength. That's also kind of equally unexciting. I guess we'll take it anyway, just in case I end up with enough creatures. Might have to take the Aggressor here. I mean, we have colorless creatures, but not really digging it. I guess it's better than Toll Collector in our deck, since we just really are not going to have any equipment. All right, we'll actually take the Hedron alignment. I don't think we're going to main deck it, but it can scry over and over again. I don't know when I would ever sideboard it in, but it's a card I haven't seen played yet, despite the fact that it's got all that scry. All right, I guess we'll take a Slaughter Drone. Second to last pick, Negator. I wish we'd need it, but we really don't. So we basically just need to lower the curve of our deck, and I think we'll be fine. If we can get some cheaper creatures, I think this deck will pan out. But as of now, I'm not super impressed with where we're at. Lantern Scout. Yeah, I guess we take the Slide Runner. With double Brute Strength, it seems pretty good. We just really need to lower the curve of our deck, or we're in some trouble. And we need more creatures. So even though Channeler's better, I think we need this Slide Runner more. Okay, Stonewaker. It's also Outnumber. Outnumber's good, and it's a good way to use Jorian. I might prefer the Outnumber over the Stonewaker here. Our creature count's starting to get there. It does enable Surge well. I think we're going to take the Outnumber and hope to wheel the Stonewaker. I don't know if that's going to happen, but Outnumber is very good. So I guess I'd prefer to not play Gravity Negator. I almost am on the fence about cutting the Unity now because we just have so many 4-drops. And I'd prefer to play all my creatures at this point and focus on our combat tricks, I guess. To be honest, I'd prefer to not play Bonesaw either, but... Alright, Nettle Drone is just very good, so that at least is a nice pickup for us. And like I said, I think I'm just going to cut Unity of Purpose. We need to cut the curve of our deck. It's just not getting there yet. It's starting to get there, though. The curve's starting to get a little bit better. I think the next on the chopping block is going to be the Bonesaw. I don't care enough about enabling Surge and getting a bad artifact equipment. Okay, Geopede's fine, but I guess we take the Herald of Kozilek. I think the 2/4 is going to be better for the most part, and it does legitimately make at least a few things cheaper in our deck, which is... got some sideways sort of benefit with Jorian. Hedron Archive's good too, but like I said, we still have that problem with the 4-drop. And blocking on the ground is better now with Thought Harvester and Double Avenger and Cyclone Sire. So we at least have some evasion. I just like Herald of Kozilek. I mean, granted, there's pretty decent chance no one's going to be playing blue-red, so potentially could wheel it, but it's just... in my mind, a lot better than Tunneling Geopede, especially since we actually have some benefit in this deck. Let's ditch the Bonesaw and bring in the Herald. Predator seems fine. I'd probably run it over Aggressor. Just because I don't really like Aggressor. I'd rather have a pretty consistent 4-4, I think. Spawning Bed's good. That's like straight up this deck's alley, for sure. There's a Rush of Ice, too, which has actually got some nice benefit with Jorian. It's actually a card I like quite a bit, too, but I think Spawning Bed is something this deck wants. Since it lets this player color spells easier and just gives you use with your mana later. I like it. I like Spawning Bed. Multiple Spawning Beds? That's surprising. I mean, I could play two. I'm not really giving up much. I don't care about Chasm Guide. I'd probably just ditch out on Crumbling Vestige. Maybe run 2 Spawning Beds. Also could run 18 lands. This really doesn't strike me as an 18 land deck, though. I could play the Wavewing Elemental. It's only okay. I don't really need it. This is a deck right now. I'll take the second Spawning Bed. I think we're just going to ditch the Crumbling Vestige. I could actually just run... Wow. That's a late aggregate. We're going to take it, of course, over the Sentinel for sure. I almost want to ditch a non... I almost want to play the Aggressor now. Vile Aggregate with double Spawning Bed. This deck just got real fast. There's a Sentinel here too, but Aggregate's just so much better. Sure Strike is a thing. I think I like the Brute Strengths more. I'm not going to play Cohort, I don't think. We just don't have enough allies, and it's just not that good. I could get away with 1 Expedite. I don't really need 2. I also can just play the Aggressor over the Expedite. I don't need the Expedite. Maybe just hate the Sharpshooter. I'm not going to play Sure Strike. Molten Nursery. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not enough. I'm not going to play Salvage Drone. I don't care about any of these cards, though. Looming Spires is something I'm going to play, so we'll take it. Ooh, getting the Geobeat back is really nice. There's also a Rune Processor in here. Kind of want to keep my curve low, though. And then I can definitely ditch Expedite for Geopeed. Maybe I even bring in the Aggressor. Boiling Earth's a good sideboard card at the very least. This deck actually kind of came together, to be honest, in the final pack. I'm like not unhappy with this deck now. It was looking very worrisome after pack 2, but I've got some degree of confidence in this deck now. Just need to figure out what I want to ditch. I might ditch the Crab and bring back the Aggressor. Just because I probably have enough colorless creatures now where I can play a 2-3 and be just as happy as I would be with a 1-5 that has slightly more difficult mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, we only have 7. It's not a ton. 2-3's not great. 1-5's pretty good blocker, as I said. So basically I would run Aggressor just for the pure synergy of like Vile Aggregate and Nettle Drone. And I guess it works with Herald of Kozilek as well, being cheaper. Maybe I do want it. I kind of think I need the double Brute Strength. Just because I'm removal light. 1 outnumber, 1 Reality Hemorrhage, 1 Sweep Away, 1 Membrane, and that's it. So I think the Brute Strengths are going to be important for certain attacks. Like, it's pretty good with Maw, too. We get to run all of our colorless mana and not really be concerned about it, since Holdout Settlement and Crumbling Vestige are like half a mana source anyway. So that's kind of why I want to ditch the Ancient Crab for the Aggressor, too. It just makes our mana slightly better, as well as offering us a little bit more synergy. We actually have so few 4-drops. Maybe I just run the Negator. Actually, that might just be better. Maybe I do just run Negator. Like, granted, we have a lot of 4-drops, but when you move the Avengers over, it's not like it looks really clunky at all now, you know? Plus, like, Negator with 4 colorless mana sources, like, I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to fly over top. And there's some, like, making an aggregate fly, a Thought Not Seer, Maw. Granted, it takes the colorless mana to put the Maw over top, but with 4 and the Hedron Crawler, we very well could activate Maw once and still use the Negator to make it fly and get in for 6. That's pretty good. I kind of like the added bonus of evasion, like even with Valakut Predator or Geopede. All of those, even the Nettle Drone, there's like a lot of kind of good powered guys that Negator can turn on in this deck. All right, I'm actually on board. I don't think this deck's fantastic, but it's not nearly as bad as I was worried it was going to be after Pack 2, like I said. And even with double spawning bed, gives us some nice late game sort of maneuverability. What is this? This is like 8 if you count these half mana source and 7 red. No, 8 red, 7 blue. I'm okay with that actually. Most of our blue is late game anyway. And we're not super color intensive. I think I'm gonna have to be okay with this. So, I like this deck. I think our mana base is a little bit iffy, but I think the Vestige and the Holdout Settlement should help us be okay for the most part for colored mana. We're not very color intensive. Our curve's fine. I'm gonna give this deck a high D. I'll give it a 69%. I want it to be better. I think it was a very low D after Pack 2, but Pack 3 gave it a high D. So 69, 70%, maybe even low C, but I think high D. And yeah, it's cool. We certainly have ways to win. So run it like this. We'll see you round 1.